There is an old saying, the pen is mightier than the sword. Ideas written down have changed the destiny of men and nations for better or worse. The flow of ideas cannot be stopped. We need to read and research to build the good ideas and expose bad ideas before they bring destruction. Only by reading can we be armed in this never ending life and death struggle. Reading has always been an integral important part of my life. I believe that reading stimulates my brain. It gets me thinking. I would say that reading has been my only true friends from my childhood. I feel more confident and have peace in mind to make new scientific discoveries. I'll tell you a story of the boy who borrowed. Benny loved reading. He always had his nose in a book and he never had enough to read. Really, said his mother, you only take half a day to read a book, Benny. You need a book about as long as the dictionary. He said, I want a book that goes on forever. That is the only book that will really give me enough reading. Benny hadn't enough money to buy a lot of books, and no one gave him except at Christmas time. He had about 8 of his own, and that was all. So Benny borrowed books from his friends and from the library. He borrowed The Island of Adventure from Bill. He asked Mary for The Secret Seven, and 5 on a Treasure Island from Henry, and 2 nature books from John. But he always forgot to give them back. At least he forgot at first, but when he saw his bookcase gradually filling up, he simply couldn't bear to give back any of the books. So he didn't. If the children asked him for returning, he pretended he hadn't got them. He was a most dishonest little boy. Benny didn't only borrow books. He borrowed a ball from Eric, a pen from Lucky, a jigsaw from Kenneth, and a new rubber from Ellen. He didn't give any of them back, and the children were very cross indeed. And then one night something happened. It was something strange, and Benny quite thought it was a dream. He sat up in bed because he thought he heard a noise. Surely there were voices in the other room where he kept his books and toys. Benny slipped out of bed. He listened outside the door of the room. Yes, there were voices. It's too bad, said one voice. I don't belong to Benny. I belong to John. I have got his name inside me. So have I, said another voice. And I belong to Bill, said a third voice. He loved me very much and read me 6 times. Now I am stuck here in Benny's shelf, and I don't like him. He doesn't treat me properly either. He has turned some of my pages down to mark his place, and that's a horrid thing to do with books. I belong to Mary, said another voice. I was a birthday present from her mother, and she liked me. Now I have to stay here, though I know Mary has an empty place in her bookcase waiting for me. Let's go, said yet another voice. Why should we stay here? Let's run down the stairs and go to that little room where there is always a window left open for the cat. Come on. I won't stay here and be a borrowed book any longer. Good gracious, thought Benny in alarm. Why? It's the books talking? Would you believe it? Door was pushed open. Books came out. pushing and jostling, eager to get down the stairs. They walked over Benny's toe and didn't seem to notice him at all. He was too frightened to stop them or even to say a word. They tumbled helter skelter down the stairs. All the books went into the little room of the hall and found the open window. Then there was silence. Benny went back to bed, trembling. He didn't like it at all. He fell asleep, and when he woke up in the morning, he laughed. "Oh, mother," he said at breakfast time, "I had such a funny dream at last night. I dreamt that all my books went walking downstairs and ran away." Well, what a queer dream to have," said mother. "But what do you think? When Benny went to get his school books that morning, he found his bookshelves quite empty except for his own books. All the others had gone." Benny sat down suddenly because his legs felt queer. So it hadn't been a dream. It was real. It had happened. Those books he had borrowed had gone off in a temper and left him. They would all be back with their right owners now. He was so frightened that he didn't know what to do. Then he caught sight of Eric's ball and Lucy's pen. Suppose they did the same thing too. Why, they might even do it in broad daylight, and then how ashamed he would be. Benny went very red. He collected Eric's ball, Lucy's pen, Kenneth's jigsaw and Ellen's rubber. He found some other things he had borrowed and put them all into his school bag. Benny returned all the things back to the other children. He returned Eric's ball, Lucy's pen, Kenneth's jigsaw and Ellen's rubber. And he also said sorry for keeping those things so long. "Thank you," said the children in surprise. "We thought you meant to keep them." "That would have been stealing, really," said Eric. "Oh, Benny, thank you for sending back my book, The Boy Next Door," said Mary. "I found it in my bookcase this morning." Benny stared at her. Good gracious! So her book had managed to find its way right to that empty place in Mary's bookshelf? The others told him that their books were back too. "I shan't borrow again unless I give back very quickly," thought Benny. "I wouldn't like this to happen to me again. I wouldn't like it either if I borrowed and didn't give back. Would you?" Francis Bacon has written, "Reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man." So keep reading, speaking, writing, and watching my video.